Now, I don't really want to dwell on it too much. I kind of feel like I've said a lot of what needs to be said. I've kind of already got my point across in Twitter posts, and we've mentioned and spoken about it in other streams. But yeah, I was definitely disappointed that he was released. I don't think he should have been fired. Even if you thought that comment was offensive, even if you thought it was racist, you know, I'm not going to dwell on that now. But if you did, then this was pre-recorded. Someone should have ensured that this did not make it to air. You know, this was recorded weeks and weeks and weeks ago. And the truth is that when they edited this show, they didn't spot it. They didn't spot it. It passed them by because they didn't think it didn't stick out to them either. So I'm not saying that, you know, everyone should be fired. No, I don't think anyone should be fired. But it is, I've got to be honest, we're very honest, it is a bit of a black cloud that's kind of hanging over this episode. Now, I'm guessing Jim Cornette's going to be on this episode because it's pre-recorded. So we're going to still get Jim Cornette this week, I believe. No word, or certainly I've not heard what their long-term plans are. So yeah, for me, a really sorry situation all round. I mean, no one's won. No one's won here. I mean, the only people I think that are going to be happy are those people that really hate Jim Cornette. And honestly, I don't know how many of them were watching the show anyway. I think this got picked up. Someone heard it. Someone took offense. It dropped onto Twitter. There was a few rumblings. I mean, I can tell you, we were streaming last week. I can only remember one person in the live stream last week commenting on it. I can't remember seeing anyone else mention it. And obviously then everyone's jumped on board. So I want to have fun. I want to sit here. I want to be, you know, all the usual stuff. And we will. Don't worry. We're not changing. We will. But it would be wrong of us to ignore what the big talking point is when it comes to NWA on the NWA live stream. So, yeah, for me, I don't think he should have gone. I think it would have been absolutely fine for him to have said, I shouldn't have said that. You know, it's a little bit dated now. I understand that the world has moved on and that people took offense, and I'm sorry if people took offense. I think that would have been acceptable, personally. It's just my opinion. I understand people out there feel different. But my opinion is that an apology should have sufficed. I don't see why he should have lost his job over that. And as we said, it wasn't picked up in the editing. And honestly, it's not as if like we were sat here last week going, what did he just say? What was it? You know, I don't know. So yeah, a bit of a black cloud. I knew that this stream was going to start off with this. I wanted to get it out the way, and then we can talk about other things. But yeah, you know, for those of you that maybe haven't seen that's my opinion on it. Yes, there should have been an apology. No, he shouldn't have gone. Although what I would say is I think he actually quit. I don't think that he was fired. I think he quit because he didn't like the statement that NWA had put out. He didn't like the fact, I was listening to his podcast, he didn't like the fact that he kind of felt like he was being thrown under the bus. So, again, make of it what you will. Everyone's got their opinions on it. It is what it is, and we'll put it to bed. We are with you, Days. This is the NWA podcast. Shout out to you, my friend. Love the NWA podcast. I not to put you guys into a corner here. I'm not looking to do that. Of course I'm not. But I would be interested if you touched on the subject. I'm just interested to know people's thoughts. I was very, very disappointed to go on to certain YouTube channels and to see them sticking the boot in before Jim Cornette had even spoken. Before Jim Cornette said anything, there was YouTube channels, you can go and find them for yourselves, that were already sticking the boot in, saying he should be fired, this is disgraceful. I did not, well, it's a very hard subject. It's a very, very hard subject because I am fully aware there's people watching that absolutely disagree. So I'm trying not to upset people. That's not why you would come on this stream. I'm trying not to offend people. It's not why you come onto this stream. But equally, I'm just trying to put my point of view across because this is a really big, really serious subject. NWA has been so much fun. So much fun. It's been absolutely brilliant. I think they've actually managed to bring the fun back to wrestling where it's kind of gone missing. I think AEW do a decent job with comedy. They get a few things wrong. I don't think the Librarians are really hitting the mark, but Jericho has been amazing. WWE really struggle. They really struggle with comedy. I'd say like some of the New Day stuff has been quite good, but outside of that, I mean, oh god, there's been more misses than hits. But I think NWA with their adverts, Josephus. Obviously now we got the question mark, and there's nothing funny about the question mark. Legit superstar of the year right there, question mark. So to see a company that is as successful at comedy as NWA having to go through this kind of, incident, let's call it an incident, it's very interesting. It's very interesting seeing how people are reacting and how people are responding. So, I mean, look, there might be people that watch for the first time this week as well. I know there's people that hate Jim Cornette for lots of different reasons, lots of different things that he's said over the years. And might be some new people that have stayed away that give it a go this week. Although, as I said, I think he is on the show this week, so maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe they'll give it a second and go, oh, he's still here, and then turn it off. But yeah, I think he is still around. CM Punk might not come back to WWE backstage. I don't think he is on backstage. I'm sure someone told me they'd announced he's not on it this week. Hey Days, shout out to me and Nolene. Shout out to Patrick O'Neill and Nolene. Will you be streaming backstage? No, I was going to stream backstage if Punk had been on it. But I've decided against it because he's not. Literally, the only reason for streaming it was so that we could get CM Punk's thoughts on TakeOver and Survivor Series. That was why I wanted to do it. Because if Punk had been on the show, I would have been making a video. Because Punk's thoughts on NXT winning Survivor Series and what's happening with Kevin Owens and what NXT stars stood out, people are going to want to know that stuff. So that's why we were going to stream. But if Punk's not on backstage, there's no point. There's no point. So disappointed with the whole thing, says John. I love the NWA, but let's enjoy the wrestling. Thank you, Days. No worries, no worries. And what I do hope, thank you very much, John. What I do hope is wherever you fall on this argument, whether you think that him leaving was right or him leaving wasn't right, I do hope that we can draw a line under it, and I do hope that we can move forward, because even Jim Cornette came out and said, do not stop watching NWA Power, because you've got a company there, the NWA, that are trying to give fans real wrestling. They're trying to give you real matches that look like matches. That, I mean, there's been a lot of stuff that I've seen over the past few years where you do question why are they doing that. I spoke about it yesterday actually during Charlotte against Asuka. Asuka had her knee on one of the ropes, and Charlotte went up and dropped her knees down, and Asuka moved her knee out of the way, which I absolutely loved, because there's a lot of superstars that would just leave their legs there, and it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Move your legs. Move your leg. You're about to be jumped on. Move your leg. You've got time. And a lot of superstars leave their legs there. And Asuka moved hers. Sadly, later in the match, she didn't. I suppose, you could say that maybe she was a bit more out of it, didn't know where she was, and that's what happened. So maybe there's a bit of psychology there. But there's a lot of examples of things like that where you go, what? Why are they doing that? Pete Dunne. I don't know if you saw, but in the Pete Dunne-Adam Cole match, which I thought was a great match, there's a moment where Adam Cole has got his arm like this, and Pete Dunne stomps on it. I cannot for the life of me understand why Adam Cole doesn't just go, you know what I mean? Like, it seems more effort to hold it up than to just drop it down. I don't understand. I really don't get some of the psychology of why you would do that. But what Jim's saying is here, they're trying to give you realistic fights, or fights that look realistic, and athletic encounters, and I really do appreciate that. So he was singing their praises. So he was saying, keep watching Power. Some of the things they've got planned, this company's only going in one direction, and that is up. That is up, baby. So, yeah, very excited to see what they've got in the works. And very excited by this show. We're only 15 minutes away. We've got Melina. We've got Joe Galley. I think Joe's going to really enjoy talking to a woman that talks back. That's going to be massive for Joe. Joe is going to love that. Actually, he's going to talk to a girl. He's going to talk to a girl, and the girl is going to talk back to him. So this is a big day for Joe. Big day for Joe. And actually, Melina she's got a little smile on her face there. She's looking lovingly into his eyes. So that's probably the greatest moment of Joe Galley's life on the thumbnail right now. So check it out if you haven't seen it already. Cornette is an anti-Trump warning shot. Can you catch me up? What, with everything that's happened with Power? What I would say is just watch the show, enjoy it, go back to episode 1 after, just work your way through. You do it in, 5-6 hours? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. 5-6 hours and you'd be able to watch everything. You'd be able to see all the twists and turns, and it is brilliant. It is definitely worth your time. There was a show a couple of weeks ago I actually thought was one of the best wrestling shows of the year. Thought it was stunning. Absolutely stunning. So, and that was a couple of shows ago. And honestly, there hasn't been a bad show. There's not been one bad show. I look forward to these streams. So, there we go. Days, what WWE video should I do? Do your favourite moves. How about that? Favourite moves. Days, it was originally a Richard Pryor joke about Evel Knievel. It's not racist. Just a Jim Cornette witch hunt. Randy Orton said the N-word and is still on TV and pay-per-view. Yeah, I mean, I've kind of said everything I got to say on it. I understand that it probably didn't belong on Power. I do completely understand that, because I took it as a joke. I mean, basically, he was saying, and I really don't want to keep getting dragged into this, but he's saying that Trevor Murdoch is so mad and bad that he could drive food across a famine and he would be able to handle himself. Yeah? Basically, if a nation came towards him for whatever reason. Now, granted, the reason he provided was because Trevor had food and he was driving across a famine. But that's not necessarily the focus of the line. That's not the point that he's trying to make. The point he was trying to make is that Trevor Murdoch can handle himself against a large group of people for whatever reason. It just so happened that the reason he chose was to do with a famine, which, is a very sensitive subject. So I completely understand that doesn't have a place on wrestling commentary. That's not why people watch wrestling. So I get that. I get that, and I've never argued that it should have been in the show. My argument was that it's not that offensive of a line. I mean, honestly, I've heard so much worse. I understand there's another way you can take the line. I'm not an idiot. I understand that it's a little bit like, that Yanni and Laurel. You can hear the same thing. Yeah, we can all hear the same thing, but actually we hear different things. Some hear Yanni, some heard Laurel. It's that whole Yanni and Laurel thing. Well, with this line, when I heard it, I heard about the famine, taking food across a famine, but other people obviously heard the racial chicken stereotype slur, which I can totally see now. I didn't see it at the time. I didn't see the other way that you can take that line. So again, there was another layer to that line, and I think that's why people jumped on it straight away. So look, let's not keep dwelling on it. I don't think it should have been in the show. I honestly don't think it was intentional to be racist. I feel like a Jim Cornette apology saying, yeah, totally, I shouldn't have said it. It's just an old line that I've used in the past, and I'll not be using it again. Do you know what? That would have done it. That would have done it. Well, I mean, Twitter still would have wanted blood. Twitter always wants blood, but it is what it is. Dawn says, sorry I couldn't join you for Raw. No worries, dude. Thank you for joining us now. Days, what is NWA Power? It is on YouTube, okay? We're done with Cornette, by the way. We are done, okay? So what I'm going to say is we are moving on to the show. We are going to this week's Power in about 10 minutes. It's a wrestling show that's free on YouTube. If you've only got one device, I mean, look, how rare is this? How rare is this? I am a YouTuber that is saying to you right now, if you only have one device, say you've only got your phone, yeah? If you've only got one device, jump off this stream. This isn't what you want to watch, okay? Jump off this stream. Go to NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, NWA Power, okay? Search for that. Watch that show. That's what I would urge that you do. If you've got two devices, like a TV and a phone, Power on there, Wrestling Day stream on here. Lovely stuff. We're going to have a good time when the show starts. We always have fun. We always have fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. 10 minutes to go. Jim Gore says, sad to see the outrage culture is alive and well. Well, it's a way of the world, isn't it? I mean, if one person takes offense now, then they can easily convince others to join them. And what I would say is that I do fully appreciate the line. You can take it two ways. You can take it the famine way, which I know still isn't brilliant. But there's a much worse way, I would argue, which was the chicken racial stereotype. I get it. I understand if people heard that. I mean, even if they heard the famine one and they didn't like it, I get that as well. There could have been people that heard it the famine way and they were like, no, look, this is 2019. You can't be doing jokes about famine on wrestling shows. Totally understand. Totally understand, right? Could have heard it the racial slur way. Totally understand, yeah? And then you've just got people that hate Cornette, that are just anything that they can jump on, they're going to jump on it, so... Anyway, I said we were done. Days, what is your top 5 favourite TV shows? Oh, lovely. Let's get stuck into this. Let me know what is your favourite TV show, because you might be able to remind me of something that I've forgotten. I'll tell you two British shows that you will never have seen in America. That I absolutely loved. They're not on TV anymore. Right? There's two shows that I absolutely loved, and these were a big, big part of my growing up. There was one that was called The Big Breakfast, and I think it started at like 6 in the morning and it ended at 9. It was a breakfast show. It was on for 3 hours, but the presenters were hilarious. They filmed it in a house. It all felt a little bit like rough. It was on Channel 4. They had guests that would come in and talk about the new albums, talk about new films. It was on in the 90s, and they had, like, obviously regular segments and little game shows and things like that. But as a kid, I can remember getting up, putting it on, and I would not want to go to school. I would want to sit there and I'd just want to watch The Big Breakfast. I absolutely loved it. It was so funny. Honestly, one of my all-time favourite shows. And actually, The House, I'd love to go to The House. The House is in London, where they used to film it. It's right by where the Olympics was held. Literally, you got the Olympics, and then just over, like, a canal is where The House was that they used to film this TV show in. And this show was big in the 90s. It was huge in the 90s. It stopped in the early 2000s, and I don't know why. I think they just went in a different direction. Anyway, yeah, I love that. And I love TGI Friday. Is that right? TGI Friday? I always get it confused with the restaurant. because there's TFI Friday and there's TGI Friday, and I can never remember which one's the restaurant and which one's the TV show. But there was a TV show that used to be on in England on Channel 4 again. And it was kind of similar to the Big Breakfast, but it was on later, and they had really cool bands. It was like where you would see Oasis play and Ocean Colour Scene and like all these really cool bands. And they would have guests and they would have funny little moments, and I used to love that show. I think it's TFI Friday. Thank F, it's Friday. TFI Friday. I think it was TFI. I think TGI is the restaurant. This doesn't belong on an NWA Power stream, but still, there's two shows that you may never have heard of, but you'd be able to Google them. Big Breakfast, and I'm gonna say TGI Friday. I don't know. Someone in the chat might help me. Let's see what other people are saying. Rick and Morty and South Park, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, UK In-Betweeners, Thundercats, Transformers, Dragon Ball Z, Duckula, Trapdoor. Oh, I hated Trapdoor. Trapdoor was... Oh, I hated it. It was this little plasticine thing, and I never understood what was going on. It never made me laugh. I was always a little bit scared of it. It was always quite dark, and I didn't get it. I didn't understand what was happening. What the hell is Gordon Honeycomb? I have never even heard of TFI Friday. TFI Friday. Right, there we go. TFI Friday. What could the F mean? Thank F, it's Friday. I'm sure you can come up with your own ideas. Banana Man was cool. Father Ted was amazing, yes. Trapdoor was amazing. I could never figure it out. Full House, I've never seen. Shaun Ryder on TFI Friday, yeah, that got the show banned, didn't it? Because he was swearing. Because it was on at 6 o'clock, so like kids were coming back from school. So it was always like cool music, and they had fun games and stuff like this. It wasn't for kids. It was like more for people in their 20s. But of course, kids would watch it. But yeah, they had Shaun Ryder on, and he was like, he was just swearing away. And they got kicked off. That was it. They were done because of that. Because they couldn't control. Brilliant. Family Guy and American Dad. TVAM. Wow, we're going back a bit there. See you later, Simply Great. Thanks for joining us, dude. Jonathan Sparks, thank you for joining us. Beetleborgs. Hang on, I've heard of Power Rangers. Masked Rider, I don't know. Beetleborgs rings a bell. Do you remember Centurions? And they I don't know if you remember the figures, but they had like little holes all over the figures, and you could actually attach different things to the front and the back. You could like add wings, or you could add some kind of propeller, or do you know what I mean? Like lots of different things you could put on. And I'm sure they were called Centurions. I remember that. It wasn't one of my favourite shows, but... So, hang on. I've got TFI Friday. Big Breakfast. Love Frasier. Frasier's probably my favourite show. We actually mentioned it the other day. I need two more. I'm going to struggle with the other two, I think. There's a few that it could be. I'll have to have a think. On the Buses is cool. Biker Mice from Mars. Yes. Big Bang Theory. Cosby Show. Not sure that's as popular anymore. Nick, thank you very much for the kind words, dude. Hang on, should we be saying, like, Raw and SmackDown? Maybe I should. They're TV shows, aren't they? Longest running episodic TV shows, Raw and SmackDown. Like, I mean, I know they're not brilliant all the time, but still, they're the shows I've watched the most. Maybe I should say Power as well. I mean, we're only 6 episodes in, but I absolutely love it. So, Power Extreme, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Darkwing Duck, Dexter's Laboratory. Everyone loves Raymond. I did used to really enjoy Everybody Loves Raymond. I did used to really enjoy that. Frasier's the one, though. Yeah, I agree. Frasier's the one. Bucky O'Hare. Wow. NXT, LSW, you're right. NXT, of course, NXT. It's been a long time since I had thought about Bucky O'Hare. I love as well Rocco's Modern Life, but I wouldn't say it was my favourite show, but I love Rocco's Modern Life. And I love Doug. I always loved Doug. I used to watch Rugrats when I was younger as well, but I was never like crazy into it. It was always just an easy watch. We probably, guys, I'm really sorry. We should have been talking about NWA, but I kind of wanted to lighten the mood after Jim Cornette, and we could have spoken about question mark. Who is the question mark? So we could have spoken about that. But, do you know what? I think, honestly, if you have, like, a conversation and you just go with the flow, they're the most fun conversations. And I've loved it. I'm having a lovely time. I hate Raymond, says BD Cool. No, everybody hates, do you mean everybody hates Raymond? Was that with Chris Rock? That was a good show. Nightmare, I don't know if I ever saw that. In my head, I've got a board game. Wasn't there a board game and it came with a videotape and you put that in? I think that was Nightmare. Crystal Maze. I've got to get a tooth pulled out tomorrow. I'm sorry about that, Jamie. Little Britain. What about The Longest? Yeah, The Simpsons, of course, Misty. Got to have The Simpsons. Got to. I know that it's had a wobble. Yeah, and people say, but honestly, I don't watch a lot of Simpsons. I don't go out my way to find the new series or anything. If there's an episode on, then I'll watch it. And I've seen a lot of newer episodes recently, and they've still made me laugh. There's still been moments in them where I've gone, that's really good, that's clever, I like what they've done there. So, yeah, there's been some really, really good stuff in The Simpsons. Even the more recent Simpsons, you know? You got to have Simpsons. I could not imagine my life without The Simpsons. Simpsons, TFI Friday, Big Breakfast, Frasier. I'm really pleased with those, actually. I'm really pleased with those. I've got a breakfast show. I've got a animated show. I've got a comedy. I've got like a really fun kind of a wacky evening show. Probably need a drama now, don't I? Probably need something a bit more. I'm feeling Breaking Bad here. I am leaning towards Breaking Bad. I don't know. Get your dance routine on. Oh, I do love this music. I've kind of retired the dance routine. I don't want to make this a weekly thing where I dance around to this, but I do love this music. Here we go. Look. Tell ya, if I wanted to chill out, nice glass of whiskey, yeah. It's good. This is the good stuff, man. This is the good stuff. I'm sat here saying I'm not going to dance. I cannot help it. I love this music. Love it, man. Doctor Who. I've never got into Doctor Who, you know. Never got into it. I watched an episode about Rosa Parks last year, which everyone was buzzing about online. Really enjoyed that. I thought that was excellent. But I haven't watched any others. That's the only episode of Doctor Who I've ever seen. Right, we're at another countdown clock. 2 minutes 50 odd on this countdown clock. Love that from Thunder Rosa as well. Thunder Rosa rolls up Allysin Kay. And I said it last week, when she rolls her up, she doesn't just like lie on her, she kind of turns her body. I really like it. I really like the psychology of it. Thunder Rosa right now, and I'm not just saying this, is maybe my favourite wrestler. I'd love to see her against Asuka. Thunder Rosa against Asuka, I think, would be absolutely fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Because Thunder Rosa's been training in MMA. She had her MMA fight, you know, and obviously Asuka's got those attributes as well. I think they're both similar in age. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Dancing with Days. Absolutely, yeah. Whiskey of Fun. Supernatural. I've never seen it. I've heard good stuff. Wurzel Gummidge. Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap is supposed to be very good. Again, I saw... Oh, that's a bit controversial. They've put the Aldis tweet on. Please don't overlook the fact that in the span... Oh, that's a bit controversial. Because obviously the Cornette comment was made during that match. Well, there's Colt Cabana with the NWA. I can't remember what it's called. Is it the heavyweight? It's not like they don't call it the North American belt, do they? La 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 la. Cornette will be on the show. I think he will. Watch 911. I should, shouldn't I? I should. Just so that I can see the moment where Ronda Rousey gets her hand cut. These days it's wrestling, The Flash, and Simpsons. Always Simpsons. Okay, so 40-odd seconds. Let's move away from TV shows. Let's talk about this. Really excited for NWA Power tonight. Can't wait to find out who's going up against Nick Aldis at the pay-per-view. New episode of Power. This is the episode where Camille finally speaks. I know it. Thank you tonight. Main event, several other key matches. So, look, they're building this up. This is really going to lay the foundations for Into the Fire. So, hopefully, we should be in for something tasty. Watching live or on demand, use hashtag NWA Power. Days, what do you think about Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins? I think that would be cool. Yeah, be down for that. I think Brie would be the weak link, of course. Right, we've got a video package. Nick Aldis. Is Cornette going to be on the show? I think so. Shout out to Jules the King. Shout out to KJ. Didn't get a notification that you was live. Well, it's just another thing that YouTube are botching at the moment, isn't it? Right, we're just getting a replay here. Camille coming out. What is she doing? She does what she wants. No one puts Camille in a corner. Okay, here we go. Now we're underway. Jesse! Shout out to my good friend Jesse. How do you watch pay-per-view? It's on YouTube, my friend. It is on YouTube, so if you've only got one device, check that out rather than us. Jump over there. Oh, and also check out This Is the NWA podcast after. I always like to give those guys a mention because they're really cool. And I'm normally over there. Been over there the past few weeks. After Power ends, they have a little show that starts. I know some of you like to go over to AEW Dark, or I don't know when Impact starts actually. But if you are interested in a bit more about the show and a bit more about NWA, then go to This Is the NWA podcast. Thunder Rosa. Love that woman. She took that clothesline so well. Into the fire. Days The Simpsons is ending. Oh, I haven't heard that. Love the streams. Thank you, Mr. Flutini. Really appreciate it, dude. Camille is gonna be with her boyfriend Tom. I reckon Josephus is the question mark. Wow. He is out banned at the moment. Okay, here we go. Happy Thanksgiving. So Joe Galli's on his own. So has he recorded this? So pre-order Into the Fire on 14th of December. Who will face Nick Aldis? Okay. Yeah. Cody gets a mention. So who is he going to face? So I love the fact they've shown Orange Santa. So I think they've re-edited this. So Eli Drake's having a word with David Marquez. What's up, Days? Melina should go to AEW. I wish I could watch the stream and NWA at the same time. Into the Fire. It seems to me like they've re-edited this to take Cornette out of it. Or certainly so far. I don't know if he's going to be on commentary. So this is some footage from Championship Wrestling in Hollywood. Days, will we see question mark, aka Liv Morgan? Yeah, I mean, hopefully we see question mark. Question mark can single-handedly save this whole issue that we find ourselves in. Days, I've got Elite 70 Dolph and Seth. Also, I've got Chucky Horrific. Ah, very cool, dude. Very cool. So, we're starting off with a promo. This promo isn't in the Power set. I always like to be honest. I don't like this open. I don't like it. This is Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. It's not in the Power studio. So Eli Drake says he left the NWA to go and do other things, and who came in to fill his spot? Nick Aldis. Someone wearing an Adam Cole t-shirt, yes. Yes, there is a Bay Bay t-shirt in shot. Okay, there we go. Honestly, I really feel like this is a promo that exists on the internet anyway. I can't really get too invested in it because... I don't know. This isn't working for me. I think it's because it doesn't feel like Power. I don't feel like I'm watching Power. I feel like I'm either waiting for Power to start or... like I'm watching a related video. Do you know what I mean? So I've got to be honest, I kind of hope they don't make a habit of this. If they've had to do this because of everything that's gone on, then okay. But I don't think this is a... There's a slight Eli Drake chant. They will lose viewers with Cornette gone. Have you noticed there's been less crowd chants in WWE? Yeah, it seems like they turned it down. I'm not paying to see Nick Aldis as a world champion. Days, what do you think people in the Power Arena are doing because they can't watch it as they don't have screens there? It's not live, dude. In the Power, it's all pre-recorded. So they're not having to sit there and watch this. There's no one there. It was the whole thing was recorded over 2 days. Okay, there we go. I know they are going back to... Okay, we've gone back to Joe Galley now. I've still got to catch up on NWA episodes, but to be fair, your commentary is making me familiar with names. Hashtag NWA Power with 3 R's. Okay. Is this whole show just going to be bit of a recap show. But okay. Thunder Rosa. Still to come. Okay. Oh, an empty arena match? Question mark in an empty arena match? Up next, Thunder Rosa into the cage. Well, I really did want to watch that, but I can't. I don't know. I thought it was going to be a separate program. This is weird. This is. I mean, if you are new to Power, this is not Power. This is the weirdest episode of Power that we've had so far. This is that. I mean, look, you can see what Power is normally like. This is a recap. You can hear Jim Cornette for the first time on a recap there. Way too much talking. It's not normally this way. There's normally promos and things, but more chance of Jim Hornet turning up. Yeah, we did name this Jim Hornet. There's Jim Hornet. Into the fire. Thunder Rosa is WWE ready. I agree. I wouldn't want to lose her from NWA. So this is a recap of the promo they did last week, and then Wildcard came out. I love those tag belts. I know I've said it a million times, but that's that design, those tag belts, that's what the WWE Championship used to look like. Yeah, look at this. I was kind of hoping that we would... Oh, that's cool. Do you see them Thunder Rosa shirts? Oh, I need to try and find it. I want a Thunder Rosa shirt. I need to find... I'm going to treat myself to one for Christmas. A Thunder Rosa shirt. So... This is her getting ready for her first MMA fight. I mean, she is so legit, isn't she? Thunder Rose WWE ready. Days on December 3rd. It's my birthday. Happy birthday, Daniel Jones. BD Cool. I have switched it off. Well, I wouldn't lose heart because there's an empty arena match. That's going to be fun. So, empty arena match. And didn't they say Nick Aldis 2 out of 3 falls match as well? So there's going to be wrestling. I kind of get the feeling that this maybe wasn't what was planned. Because this isn't what they've done before. But listen, watching a program about Thunder Rosa is not going to be a chore. Who trains with face paint on? Knee strikes. She's awesome, man. She's so cool. I would be giddy if she was to turn up at the Royal Rumble. I'd lose my mind. She's such a great striker. And you can see the work she's putting in. How great is that mouth guard as well? Can you see the mouth guard? Everyone is speaking but Carmel. Would you please say hello and welcome me? Yeah, hello, Lisa Anderson. Welcome to our watch along. It's a little bit strange. We've got Thunder Rosa documentary on at the moment. In fact, I should change this over, shouldn't I? Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa documentary. Was not expecting this. The episode might be different as a result of it being Thanksgiving. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like they've already recorded it. I feel like they've got the... I don't know. I don't know. It could be. Days, you stream and the feeling is what got me back into wrestling. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you very much, EK1988 space 1. Is there an EK1988 too? We'll never know. Are you feeling better today? I'm honestly not feeling 100% no, but I feel all right. I feel fine. I'd say I'm about 90. So, happy birthday to Dank Dorito Gamer. Are you streaming on Sunday? Yes, we've got Starcade. Do you think she just always has face paint on? I mean, even here, look where she's just in her hotel room. This is very interesting. Seeing her, like, going through, getting her hair done and everything as she builds towards that MMA fight. I mean, honestly, it's different, but what other wrestling promotion do you know dedicates this much time to one of its wrestlers? You know what I mean? Just think about what this is going to do for her and her character. Everyone that watches Power this week, literally just learning an in-depth, kind of connecting a bit more with Thunder Rosa. This is, do you know what? This is exactly the kind of thing I urge WWE do. This is the exact kind of thing that I always want from WWE. Wouldn't you love to see Ricochet, going about his business and hear his thoughts and what he's trying to achieve and the journey that he's been on? And, I'd love it if they just dropped one of them in each show. Our spotlight this week is going to be Buddy Murphy. And then you go off to Buddy Murphy and learn a bit about Buddy Murphy. And so even though this is a bit weird, and even though we might be sitting here going, there's no wrestling, I don't understand. This is still a program I was desperate to watch. And it's still fascinating. She's talking about depression and gaining a lot of weight, and it's amazing, isn't it? Because she seems so confident, and she seems like someone that's really got it together. Amazing. Thunder Rosa seems like a legit badass. Yeah, she is. Look at that. I love the face paint and how it's slightly worn as well. So, this could be quite interesting. An interview with Melina. The question mark. Next, question mark versus Zane Dawson in an empty arena match. Hello, we've got a little promo here. Isn't this Danny Deals? Do you remember Danny Deals from last week? Here he is. All the deals for you. This is a real website as well. This is legit. Danny Deals is real. Highspots.com is a real place. You can even get your own wrestling ring. How much is Danny Deals doing the wrestling rings for? Let's have a look, shall we? Highspots.com, how much is a wrestling ring? highspots.com. Let's have a look. Wrestling ring. So another recap. 4 wrestlers. Masks, boots, in stock gear. I don't know. Where's ring? Ring? I want a ring. Black Friday? Oh, there's a Black Friday sale. Can you get, like, money off a ring? Jesus, shall I buy a ring? For fans, for wrestlers. Let's go search. Ring. Want a ring. Here we go. God, you can? You can buy a wrestling ring! No way. Look at that. You can get a wrestling ring. You can buy a wrestling ring for $5,500. You can get different... Oh, man. You can get different colors of canvas. You can change the color of the ropes. Oh, this is amazing. $5,500 for a wrestling ring. Buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it. That's tempting. If I had $5,500. They just showed us a question mark t-shirt that's available now. They're showing us again some recaps of last week. The ones who seem to have it together tends to be the ones that are struggling the most. I would like to see her versus Ronda. I think Ronda would win. Ronda's like a UFC champion, whereas Thunder Rosa's had one MMA match. Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, I think Thunder Rosa against Becky, Thunder Rosa against Sasha, I think they would be fascinating matches. Not that I want to see her go from NWA. Absolutely not. It'd be brilliant if, like, they could have some kind of working arrangement, you know? That'd be awesome. Paul Heyman needs to be question mark's manager. High Spots sponsored the NWA like Retromania did. They did, you're right. The goal is to buy a ring off High Spots. It is. I should set up a little tally, shouldn't I? And then all the donations that people donate, we can see where we get to. And as soon as we get to 5,500, we'll buy the ring. We should maybe... should I do that? I don't know. I can't tell if that's a good or a bad idea. Karate! Question mark. Shogun of Malibu on the way in 6 months. Oh, they're fighting the Dawsons. I like Aron Stevens. Great promo. Karate! I am loving question mark. Shakespeare. Yes, do it! Days, I'm going to go to the O2 to see Seth and Becky. Have fun. Cody's like, do it! Okay. So Zane Dawson is obviously one of the Dawsons. I never put that together. The question mark. This is cool, man. Look at this empty arena match. You don't often see this, do you? Karate! I'm wondering if they got them in this past week just to film this match. Yeah. Is this, is he on his own? Is Joe Galley on his own? I'm trying to look over, see if I can see him at the commentary table, but I think he's dropped the commentary on after. He is choking the life out of the question mark. Aron Stevens jumps into the crowd, but there is no crowd. Aron Stevens should sit down and start chanting. That would be amazing. That would be brilliant. He could then start acting out different people, just change him from seat to seat. Go get him, question mark. Oh, leave him alone, Zane Dawson. Oh, question mark. The question mark win. Whilst I was doing all my acting. Karate. Look at this. The question mark? With a victory? So now the Dawsons have got to read some Shakespeare. This is the greatest stipulation in the history of wrestling. As stipulation matches go. This is what I'm saying about comedy. Watching the Dawsons trying to recite Shakespeare. Look at Aron Stevens. Oh my God, they're killing it. They're killing it. And now the Dawsons are getting into it. Oh. Aron Stevens is going to be sick. Aron Stevens is throwing up in the bin. Question marks comforting him. This is brilliant. He's holding his hair. The question marks holding. Oh my God. This is wrestling. This is wrestling. Oh, love it, man. Oh. That has single-handedly made this a great episode. Didn't like the promo at the start. I got into the Thunder Rosa thing, but I just wasn't expecting to see it. Match was very short. There's a Mama Storm pin! Mama Storm! Oh my God, they are killing the merch. I need a question mark shirt with a Mama Storm pin and my $5,500 wrestling ring. That's all I need. That's all I need to be happy. It's not too much to ask, is it? Trevor Murdoch versus the question mark. Match has been made for Into the Fire. There we go. Days WWE have made an official announcement on the Firefly saying something or someone will be revealed. Indeed. Days, thanks so much for streaming. Going through, seriously help me enjoy. No worries, Ben. No worries. Crowd left a month ago. They did. They did. This is why Tuesday streams are amazing. I mean, look, what a moment, man. Seeing the Dawsons reciting Shakespeare while Aron Stevens throws up and question mark holds his hair back for him. I mean, that's all I've ever wanted to see. There's Thunder Rosa, look, with the rollover. Brilliant. And the drums. Boom, 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 boom. Love it. Love it. So she is the Phoenix. I think Thunder Rosa said that the Phoenix was going to rise. And then Melina came down. NWA is ruined. No. It's not ruined. Question marks here to save the day. Now we got Melina. Melina. Interview. Bet you have, Joe Galley, you dirty little dirty dog. Melina. She loves when people fight for summer. Is question mark in the Dark Order? No, sadly not. Too powerful. His karate was too powerful. Days, will you stream Into the Fire? Yes. Well, the watch along for it, 100%. Do you know where the crowd went? They, I've got a sneaky feeling they filmed that match maybe this past week. Because this hasn't felt like a normal show. Really digging this. First time watching. Joe, if you're enjoying this, you will love the Normal Power. Normal Power is... There's normally, we normally will have had, like, a couple of matches by now, a couple of promos. There's been a lot more recaps this week. A lot more, replays. But, I mean, still interesting stuff. Thunder Rosa versus Rhea Ripley would be awesome. Half an hour of talking, 1-2 minute match. That's true, that match was very short. Before me, you didn't see people care about their entrances. She didn't get the credit she deserved. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Might want to have a chat with The Undertaker. I think he cared about his entrance. Can I get a welcome and Patrick O'Neill a shout out? I thought I welcomed you, Lisa. Welcome. Shout out to you, and of course, shout out to Patrick O'Neill. Days, will Into the Fire been on YouTube? I think it's on Fight. The Fight app. Jump onto Twitter. Go to NWA. You'll find out exactly where it is. Probably a combination of the Cornet situation and Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah, I agree. Still not hating it. I don't even know if this has been the worst show. Like, the Thunder Rosa thing was brilliant. I'm a massive Thunder Rosa fan, so it's not a problem to watch a documentary little thing on Thunder Rosa. I thought that bit just was absolutely fantastic. It's only really... People rave about Eli Drake and his promo skills. Doesn't really land for me. I don't find him engaging. I think that's the right word. I never watched Impact, so I can't... He could be the greatest promo in the world. But whenever I see him, he just doesn't capture my personal attention. Melina says, just because I've done modeling, some people don't think I'm worthy of being in the ring. Fight TV on the 14th. Before 1 month, Xavier Woods posts a video on his channel that Liv Morgan entrance as The Fiend maybe means something. Days, what did you rate Raw? I think it was like a 7.7, something like that. It is on Fight, $19.99 if you pre-order, or $21.99. Oh, I need to pre-order it then, don't I? I still haven't pre-ordered it. Right, next up, Thunder Rosa, Into the Cage Part 2. See the stars of the National Wrestling Alliance at WrestleCade on November 29th and 30th and December 1st. WrestleCade.com. Oh, I'd love it if they came to the UK. Hopefully they do at some point. If they bring NWA over and Thunder Rosa and Camille and Nick, I am there. And tell you this as well, I will quite happily dress up as a Santa in a different colour. I'll quite happily go as Green Santa. Yeah, quite happy. So I hope they come over. Is this Billy Corgan? Yeah. Stream now. Cotillions. They're talking about the Circle Squared now. So this is going to be where they look for new talent. Seen this. Days, the question mark is a black belt in Rex Kwando, the guy from Napoleon Dynamite. I've only ever seen that film once. I thought it was decent. But people are crazy for Napoleon Dynamite in America, aren't they? There's like loads of merch and everything for it. I don't think it really landed here as hard, you know? But I have seen it. Do you remember when Nick Aldis was on Gladiators? I do not, no. He wasn't in it at the start, was he? The promo circle and the square of the ring. That's very cool, isn't it? Go to nationalwrestlingalliance.com. Hey Days, my name is Spencer. I have a different account, but I've watched you for a year, and it's my birthday on Thanksgiving. Well, happy birthday, Spider Slayer, aka Spencer. Spider Spencer Slayer. The circle squared. What a strange episode, but I really like it. I'm definitely hooked. Yeah. It's been different. I would want more wrestling normally. I mean, 40 minutes in and we've had 1 2-minute match. So Melina says that the women's title deserves more. So, is Melina going to have a match? Or is she going to send Thunder Rosa after her? Or Marti Belle? I can't quite work out the dynamic, you know? Okay, we're going back into that Thunder Rosa documentary. Into the cage! Thunder Rosa. Documentary. Love that shirt. Days, what do you think? Where is Lars Sullivan? He should be coming back. He was out injured, but he should be coming back soon. So shout out to Noel. They've had to change the whole show because of Jim. Well, it could be a mixture of that. Might have something to do with Thanksgiving, but this is a shame. I really get the feeling, and I could be wrong, but I really get the feeling this was meant to be a separate video. I really think this Into the Cage was meant to be a separate video away from Power. But because of what happened, they've actually dropped it into Power. Because, in all honesty, this doesn't do anything to build up the pay-per-view, does it? Do you know what I mean? They've got their first big pay-per-view coming up since Power started. And I would have thought they would have wanted to have done more for that. So I don't think this was the plan. But I'm also not going to complain. Because I absolutely love Thunder Rosa. And I've only been watching her a few weeks. But I love legit. I love legitimacy. It's why I'm a fan of Brock Lesnar. I like Brock Lesnar because he's legit. You know what I mean? He should be champion because he's legit. He legit could destroy that roster. I like Asuka because she's legit. I like Matt Riddle. I like Thunder Rosa. It's just wrestling's... people have got different tastes, haven't they? I like the comedy stuff as well. I'm not like Jim Cornette in regards to... You know, I love Orange Cassidy, for example. But, yeah, there's definitely something about Thunder Rosa that's really resonated with me. I think when I'm older, I'd like to be her. I just find it very interesting watching her footwork here. And just kind of looking at her thought process, watching her kind of going through different takedowns and... It is very, very interesting. American, I didn't get the hype over Napoleon Dynamite. Jim will be a big loss. I agree. Don't mind this at all. I remain a big fan and I'll keep watching NWA. They did a reboot of Gladiators, which he was on. You could tell he was a wrestler. He would give heel promos like Wolf. Definitely changed it because of Jim, but I'm still enjoying it. That's good. I don't think there'd be much to talk about, to be honest. I mean, I might end up watching it and going, oh, I should have streamed it. But I was only doing it for Punk's thoughts. 5 minutes until the fight. Now, I know what happens in this fight. I'm really interested to know what she's got to say after. 1 minute until the fight. I could not find this fight anywhere. I had to find clips of it online. I couldn't actually... I wanted to buy it and watch it, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So, she loses 30-27. So, she doesn't get knocked out. I think, is she a bit emotional here? Yeah, she is, yeah. No way, man. She wasn't even scared in there. She was ready to fight. You can't watch this and not just love her more, can you? It's impossible. She's got blood all down her nose. She's swearing her head off. So she says that she was tucking her chin and she's a bad woman, man. She's a bad, bad woman. So they're saying that she improved throughout the fight. By the time they got to the third round, Thunder Rosa was actually better. I hope she goes again. I hope she doesn't give up. Oh. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot, isn't there? Amazing. Days check Twitter. A little bit. What? Why are people kicking off? People not like the bad language this week. This is cool, man. This is really coal. What do you think about Seth Rollins turning heel? I think it was amazing. I don't think he did. I think it was frustration. I think he's still going to be under the impression that he is still a face. What? Ashley Vox. Okay, so you get to vote as to who you want to see Allysin Kay and Ashley Vox go up against. Just go over to Twitter, use the hashtag NWA Power. Up next is the main event of NWA Into the Fire. Where are we? We've only got 10 minutes left. Are we only getting one match this week? I don't know what's happening. I mean, that's probably my fault because I'm talking and watching, but still. Power. Colt Cabana is going to take on... It says Rick Starks on the thing. Rock and Roll Express will take on the Wildcards next week. So, looks like we might be getting a bit more wrestling next week. Wildcard! Oh, the card. Okay, here we go. We're going to find out some more matches. Trevor Murdoch against Question Mark, we know. Allysin Kay and Ashley Vox will take on either Melina, Thunder Rosa, or Marti Belle. Well, Thunder Rosa has got to be in there. It's probably going to be Melina and Thunder Rosa, isn't it? Eli Drake against Ken Anderson. So that's... Yeah. So who is it? I thought it was Eli Drake. Who is it? Oh, James Storm. Right, James Storm. So it's going to be Nick Aldis against James Storm. What did Camille whisper then? Yeah. Well, we're never going to find out, are we? Into the fire. Is that it? To only get one match, and that one match be 2 minutes long, is difficult. There's no two ways about it. Loved the Thunder Rosa documentary. Loved the match. Loved what happened after the match. Aron Stevens is brilliant. A real asset. He's kind of the underappreciated superstar, really, because Camille gets the headlines, Thunder Rosa's getting the headlines, Nick Aldis is getting headlines, Question Mark's getting headlines. No one's really talking about Aron Stevens as much. But I honestly think what he did in this episode was absolutely brilliant, from his promo to his work afterwards. I thought he was very, very good. Love the fact the Question Mark won as well. Shows that he is, he's actually got something about him. Loving the whole karate. Loving that whole thing. Melina interview was interesting. I mean, look, what I'm going to say is that was 50-odd minutes long. And I enjoyed it as much as I would enjoy a normal Raw or a normal SmackDown, So, different. Still interesting. Not something I want to see every single week, because you can't have a wrestling show that's got one match and that match is 2 minutes long. But for a change, I'm all right with it. I love Thunder Rosa, which really helps. I think maybe if you're not a big Thunder Rosa fan, then this was very Thunder Rosa heavy. So maybe you might have struggled a little bit. But honestly, watching that, who's not going to be a Thunder Rosa fan? Who's not going to be a Thunder Rosa fan? So yeah, really a very, very interesting episode. Which is good. Gives us something to talk about, doesn't it? You know? Toy hunts. Days, what do you think will happen in the Firefly Funhouse? I've done a video on it, dude. Camille whispered to James Storm that was coming to NWA. Aron Stevens is great. Think they're scrambling. I agree. I mean, feel free to go and thank Twitter for tonight's episode if you are upset. Days, what do you think will happen on the Firefly Funhouse? I did a video, buddy. It's all in a video. So is NWA Power as amazing as that ladies' War Games match? Because that was fire. NWA is very, very good. I mean, the wrestling is different to that War Games match. This is kind of like hard hitting, proper contest. You don't get too much aerial stuff. They come off the top rope and whatever, but you're not seeing like reverse Ranas and things like that. But I'm sick of seeing all that, to be honest. You know, I mean, a suicide dive to me, it's my least favorite move in wrestling now because I see it in pretty much every single match. So I do appreciate the fact that they do, you know, a little bit different, things a bit different in NWA. But it's got a bit of everything. It's got a great women's division. It's got a great tag division. It's got a great champion. I'm still not totally sold on the men's division, if I'm being honest. The men's division of NWA, I think, is a little weak. I'm not a massive Eli Drake fan. I like Question Mark. I love Question Mark. He's fun, but it's a comedy character. He's not going to be like the champion that carries the belt for the next 100 years. Although we can dream, I don't think that will happen. But yeah, outside of Nick Aldis, James Storm is cool. Eli Drake's fine. Aron Stevens I love, but again, he's a comedy character. Trevor Murdoch is cool, but he had his match and he lost. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's like, I feel like they need a bit more weight in the men's division. Probably need a bit more weight in the women's. But I'm still, you know, you've got Camille, you've got Thunder Rosa, now Melina has joined. We haven't seen much of Allysin Kay. So I feel like there's still a bit more to explore in the women's division. Do you know what? This is what I love, though. There's a lot for you to break down, and there's a lot for you to get your teeth into. So, yeah, even when it's a different episode, a different kind of episode, there's still a lot for us to sit here and talk about. Like, still a lot for us to break down. What do you think about the new IC title? I gave it 7.75. I didn't like it at first, but then when I saw it, it had a bit more detail on it than what I first thought. I still don't think it's better than the old one. I don't know. Of all the belts to change, that's one of the last I would change. That belt, I can see Macho with it. I can see Warrior with it. I can see all these legends with that belt, and now they've gone and changed it. Fair play, they changed it for something semi-decent, but still not necessarily a change I would have made. Colt Cabana's got their mid-card title, hasn't he? So, yeah, Colt Cabana's cool. But he's already their mid-card champion. It's what I'm saying. They've got two belts. Not even NXT UK has got two belts. That doesn't have a mid-card title, but NWA has got a mid-card title. And they haven't got the biggest of rosters, so I'm not sure what their plans are moving forward. Obviously, they've got the circle squared, so they want to bring people in. And they want us to choose who gets a contract. So I feel like there's a lot on the way. I feel like we're really at the beginning here. But if that is the case, if this is just the beginning, it's very exciting. Get your scores in. What did you think of tonight's show? I'm going to score it a 6. I love Thunder Rosa. I love an empty arena match. Okay, you don't always see those. Rarely do you see those. Actually, that's not something that. In fact, that was my first one I saw this year. I haven't seen an empty arena match all year. So the fact I've seen something on this show that I haven't seen all year, 1 point for that. Loved Aron Stevens' promo. Loved the work that he did after. For me, Aron Stevens deserves a point. Love what they were doing with Thunder Rosa. I do think it should have been a separate video. I think it was planned to be a separate video. But I'm more than happy to give them a mark for that. I thought the Melina interview was good as well. I really do feel like that deserves a point. She was saying some very interesting stuff. And I'm quite intrigued. It seems like she's going to be a competitor. I like the fact that she was calling out Allysin Kay, and it was good. You know, some of the things that she was saying, I don't know if I can agree with them, but still interesting to see a sit-down interview with her. She, you know, it was a big moment last week, so to hear her speak, I'm happy to give them a point for that. I've given them a point as well, another one, for telling us a bit of the card. So we now know question mark against Trevor Murdoch. We know that Nick Aldis is going to have a 2 out of 3 falls match against James Storm. We know that it's going to be Allysin Kay and Ashley Vox taking on. We get to choose as well, which I think is really cool. So I'd give him a point for that. And then, you know, Joe Galley, I thought worked hard. I enjoyed the little funny advert that was in there as well. The high spots thing. And yeah, I feel like a 5 or a 6 is fair. 6 is probably my top end. So maybe because I am such a big NWA fan, I've leaned towards a 6. So if you've gone lower, I can understand it. I mean, I am a fan, and I would struggle to go higher. I mean, seeing Thunder Rosa getting emotional, and I mean, the fact they managed to fit all of that within 50-odd minutes, I think is very good. Very good. I just wish there was more wrestling. It's a wrestling show, and so I just wish there was more wrestling, but I don't think this was the original plan. Do you agree that cancel culture has screwed NWA for the next few weeks? This was awful. I don't agree it was awful. Power is my favourite show. I can't agree it was awful for all the reasons that I've listed, and I'm being honest. If I honestly thought this was awful, I would say. But they saved it with that Thunder Rosa thing, and I'm a big Thunder Rosa fan. I understand, though, a 1-2 minute match is not great for a wrestling show. I don't think Jim Cornette should have said it. I don't think it should have made the program. And I think people were very quick to judge. And I think that cocktail has resulted in this. This is what we've got. So everyone's got to deal with this now. You know, if AEW put a foot wrong, then, you know, people are going to jump on that. And then they're going to be forced to change. And if WWE or NXT put a foot wrong, then they're going to have to change. And this is the world now. This is what social media has kind of created. But I'm not going to take away from the fact that Jim Cornette shouldn't have said it on a wrestling show. And NWA should have ensured it didn't make air. But it is what it is. Question mark versus Orange Cassidy versus R-Truth. You are making live streams who are 4 hours long almost every day. You are a legend. Thank you. Thank you, Fully Cool. Hashtag bring back Jim. Days, what if on the Firefly Funhouse, Bray introduces a puppet named Wyndham, and each week the puppet sets everyone... I didn't even see the rest of that. NWA is good as a promotion, but Raw was better this week. I don't disagree, actually. Raw was better. And honestly, that's the first time I can say that. But I think Raw has just come out of a big pay-per-view. And maybe now this is where Raw are starting to make their move now. Maybe they were a little bit restricted going into Survivor Series. But maybe now they've got a little bit of freedom. So hopefully Raw is going to be good every week. And normally with NWA, this it's not normally like that. So I think it's a bit of a perfect storm. So for 1 week, Raw was actually better than NWA. Here we go. Each week, the puppet sets everyone free, and then Funhouse Bray is free because Bray did say Wyndham is the key. I don't. I wouldn't want that. I don't want the puppets to go free. I love the Funhouse. I don't think like Mercy doesn't seem to want to leave. I think Ramblin' Rabbit wants to leave, but I don't think Mercy wants to leave. Abby the Witch wants to, why won't you let me rest? So maybe there's an argument for Huskus doesn't care. Huskus is just quite happy eating food, isn't he? So I think 2 puppets want to go. I don't think Bray wants to leave. Plus, I've got a sneaky suspicion that Funhouse Bray could be the Fiend. Or at least there's, times where I know the Fiend. We could go into a whole theory here, but I don't know. I don't think that would be the way forward I would choose. They should have told Cornette he needs to publicly apologize. I think they did, actually. I think they did turn around and say you need to say you're sorry, but the issue was they had put a post out without speaking to him that said, we are aware that one of our talents made made an offensive comment. And Jim Cornette was like, hang on, no one's spoken to me about this. Jim Cornette didn't agree that it was offensive. And so he didn't like kind of being thrown under the bus. So I think as soon as he saw that, that's why he ended up like quitting. I think he said on his podcast he doesn't know if he would have been fired or not. So we don't know, but it's, they wouldn't have. It's a mess. It's a mess. Kevin, I agree. 6 out of 10 is a fair score, but to be honest, better than most 3 hours of Raw. That's true. Let's not just compare it to this week, because that is a little unfair. Normally, Raw isn't as great as what it was this week, and normally NWA Power has more wrestling, so, it is what it is. Days WWE files for trademark. Oh, I need to go because of this is the NWA podcast. I don't want to talk all over those guys. Cornette said he quit. He did. Days, how are you? Do you like Aleister Black's return? It's all right. I don't want to see him sitting in a room waiting anymore unless there's going to be a big payoff, and I'm at the point now where I don't think there is going to be a big payoff. Jana says, Days, people need to stop to be so quick to be negative. Because something goes wrong, it's like people don't have brains anymore. I think it's very, very easy, isn't it? It's very easy. And I can't even say it's wrong. If you're sat at home and there's something you don't like, social media, that was, do you know what I mean? Bang, that was trash. Hated that, because you're kind of hoping that your words are going to change it. But the thing is that when everyone does that collectively, obviously then you've just got, it snowballs. You've just got this social media. It's very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting. Let's not get into it again. I keep getting dragged. Can we see that? I keep getting dragged into this conversation, which I'm more than happy to have. And, it has had an impact. I do believe it's had an impact on this week's show. And, it kind of made the start of this stream not as fun, and I feel like this isn't as fun, and I feel like it's all serious, and I don't think people tune in for serious. But I suppose, in a way, can't really enjoy the good times unless you go through the bad, and this is the bad, isn't it? So, it's one way of looking at it, anyway, Best WrestleMania main event of all time would be Lesnar versus Fiend. Days, I commented on Sammy Guevara's blog, and I think he liked and highlighted it. That's cool. There was a time when WWE was going to stop the suicide dive as it kept going wrong, and now everyone does it. It gets overdone, doesn't it? It loses its impact. Really loses its impact. Days, I don't know how often you're on Instagram. Not often. But Seth posted a picture with the caption, "Let's right the wrongs together." Okay. Hashtag stream backstage. I would if CM Punk was on, but honestly, I without CM Punk, I can't see there being enough to stream. If I'm being honest, there's not going to be enough interest. They're going to talk about Survivor Series. I don't. Without being like rude, I don't really care about what Paige has to say, and I don't really care about what Booker T's got to say, because Booker T, I think, has got a radio show, so if I want to find those clips, I can find those clips. Paige, I don't know, fine. I'm sure I could find her opinions on Twitter, but CM Punk is somewhat different, isn't it? CM Punk, you just don't know if he's going to completely rip into it. You don't know if he's going to say something about Vince or say something about Triple H. Paige isn't going to do that. So that's why we would have streamed it. One more minute and then I'm going to go, because you need to check out This Is the NWA podcast. Those guys are absolutely brilliant. They do some great work. I'm a big fan of what they do. I know they tend to start a little bit, just a few minutes after, so I don't think I'm stepping on their toes. So one more minute and then we will go. Paige speaks very highly of you, Days. Well, I've got nothing against Paige. Let me make that clear. I'm not hating on Paige. This isn't a Paige attack. I'm just saying that I'm pretty sure I could find her thoughts on Twitter or on Instagram or in some kind of news article. Whereas the draw for backstage, of course, and I'm sure she would agree as well, was CM Punk. You know, they were doing 50,000 views, and it went up 100,000 the week that CM Punk last week. So he gained 100,000, and that was with quite like not much promotion. And I don't think everyone gets FS1 either. Plus, the views on YouTube were huge. I think there was more views, way more views on YouTube. In fact, there was more views on YouTube than people that actually watched the show. So this is what I'm saying. Like, it's all about CM Punk. CM Punk is that show. And I think they'll struggle tonight. Unless they've got something up their sleeve. They're going to make some interesting announcements for SmackDown. I was only messing. No, I know you was, buddy. I know you was. Days, can you shout out my friend's channel, Beatrice Money? Beatrice Money! There we go. To be fair, if Bray did have an idea that involved leaving the Funhouse, he would probably have it executed in such a way that we'd love it still. That's true. I don't hate the idea of whoever it came up with the Wyndham thing. I'm not against it. I'm just trying to think, you know, is there value to it? Is that really the right way forward for it? And I can think of 2 of the 4 puppets that want to leave. But I don't think Funhouse Bray wants to leave. I don't get that impression. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a story. I don't know. I just don't know if that's a story that can be told. To be fair, yeah, we've read that. What wrestler do you fancy? Can't really say I fancy any, to be honest. I don't really watch it for that purpose. Don't know. I mean, favourite female wrestlers, Asuka and Thunder Rosa. But no, I don't. None, to be honest. Honestly, Pete Dunne needs knee pads to prevent knee injuries. I wasn't messing around. Are you still streaming Impact? I don't know. When is Impact? What time is? I haven't even looked into it, to be honest. Because I was going to do backstage, and then I found out Punk wasn't on, and then people were like, do Impact, and I was like, oh, I should do Impact. Maybe I'm going to do Impact. I haven't got any further with it. I'm the one who owns Frostbite. I was banned for chat because I can't type in chat. I don't know what you're on about, my friend. Roman is my favourite wrestler currently. He will face The Fiend at WrestleMania. Never watch to check out Bailey. Hello, Ben Russell. Hope you are well. I think we're done, guys. I could sit and just keep chatting, to be honest. I think we might end up repeating ourselves a little bit. I am excited for Into the Fire. This was a very different show. I'm still scoring it a 6 out of 10. I wish they would do a longer Thunder Rosa documentary. I would watch more. I would watch more of it. So I'd love it if there was like more footage that they had and they would do like a half hour. I mean, maybe we watched half an hour. I don't know. Maybe it was half an hour. But I would watch more of that Thunder Rosa thing. I absolutely loved it. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. Loved the empty arena match, as we said. And look, it is what it is. I think we're back to normal next week. They've already announced 2 matches. We are building towards the pay-per-view. So just a one-off. Right, check out This Is the NWA podcast, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.